Universal basic income. Are you familiar with it? If you are, and if you would like a $3,600 stimulus check, just put a 1 down in the comments. And I promise you, the President of the United States will be sending you a big fat check. Okay, I'm kidding. But have you heard of universal basic income? Do you know what it is? Do you realize that it's definitely coming at some point in some form? Well, if you've been paying attention at all to what's going on economically and with artificial intelligence, you already know that millions and millions of people will lose their jobs. I actually had a conversation today with 5 people who don't have a clue that their job is actually going to be gone, most likely within the next year, maybe even sooner. Now, there are a lot more people talking, on here talking about universal basic income. If you look it up on ChatGPT or on Grok, which is my favorite search engine right now, you can see what it's all about. But today, the President of the United States, and by the way, I'm not a political person. It's not an endorsement in any way, shape, or form. I'm actually an independent, and I only believe in what I agree with. If it's better for the country and the people and everybody involved. So don't take this as some kind of an endorsement, whatever you do, because you'll be wrong, and I will crush you in the comments section if you try to go there. But seriously, right before the president was getting on Marine One today, there was an interview, and a very smart reporter asked the question, is it possible that with all the money coming in from tariffs, that you could maybe send out a stimulus check to a percentage of the American people? And Trump's answer actually was, first of all, he said, well, yeah, it's definitely a possibility. And he went on to say, that's a really, really great question and a smart question. And he's right about that. Smart reporters actually think about the possibilities of getting a really credible answer from a politician, especially the president. And stupid reporters ask about sexual affairs. I'm sorry. I don't care what you do in the bedroom or with your wife or with your friend's wife or with your friend's girlfriend or whatever it is. I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying that when you're a reporter and you're standing in front of the President of the United States, for God's sakes, ask an intelligent question that might have something to do with the future. So anyway, Trump answered, yes, it's a possibility. We're getting enormous amounts of money on tariffs, blah, 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 blah. Now, there would be rules to that. Obviously, it would probably be households earning a combined income of under $200,000, which might sound like a lot to a lot of people, but it's really not. Anyway, here's the bottom line. I know that there's a lot of fear right now with artificial intelligence, and it's most definitely credible. Artificial intelligence is going to replace enormous amounts of jobs in every sector, especially white collar. The medical profession is going to get hit extremely hard, especially when it comes to data and all that kind of stuff. But also, there was a report out this morning, Johns Hopkins are now have the ability through artificial intelligence to diagnose cancer faster than the standard procedures. In other words, your doctor, basically, in many cases, is going to be history. So it's going to affect every segment of the population. And if you know anything about economics, when we get enormous amounts of layoffs, which are definitely coming, there's no question about that. Don't even second guess that statement. It's definitely coming. When that happens, it could cause anarchy. We could have serious, serious cultural problems. The only way to alleviate this is to provide people with the basis a basic income, a universal basic income, UBI. You call it whatever you want, but don't call it welfare, because that's not what it is. It's the only way that the government can control the population, and I don't mean control in a negative way. Control in a positive way. In other words, providing them with enough to eat, enough to pay their basic bills, their basic rent, their basic utilities, their food, their, no expenses. They're not going to pay your Netflix bill. But if you don't do that, you could have a serious problem on your hand. You could have a revolution. You could have anarchy. I mean, you could have people taken to the streets. And the government, no matter whether you like it or not, the government and much smarter people than even the president or any president already know this is coming. And I can guarantee you there are people inside the government and inside the big banks like Jamie Dimon and people who are extremely smart. They are working on this, and it's going to have to happen. The only way that we will survive is if the government provide us with the basic needs. You're seeing this happen already in manufacturing. I know I talk a lot about Tesla on this channel, and the automation that's going on over at Tesla and SpaceX and Neuralink and Starlink and the Boring Company and Tesla's battery manufacturing plant, Tesla's lithium refining plant, you name it. The amount of automation that's arriving into that system is mind-boggling, absolutely mind-boggling. This is why, I'm sorry to sound like a broken record, but companies that are doing things the old way, like Ford, General Motors, and these other companies, they are history. They are so top-heavy with people that they will not be able to afford to stay in business. Now, when companies like Tesla start making enormous amounts of money, the government are going to have access to that money. Now, the good side of this technology, it's going to bring down the price of everything. If you notice what's going on with the robotaxi launch in Austin, Texas, started off at $4.20 flat fee to go within, I think it's a 5-mile radius or whatever. It's now, they have extended the radius, so now it's $6.90. And I don't know where it tops out. It could be $10, $12, $15, but the bottom line is that's like quarter of the price of an Uber or a Lyft or a Waymo or whatever else is out there. So this technology and this automation, it's going to bring down the price of things. The other thing it's important to remember, and again, this is not a Trump endorsement, but one of the things that happened with these tariffs is when he made deals on tariffs, the countries that he made the deals with, part of the deal was to make specific deals with American companies. For instance, Boeing actually just sold a whole bunch of planes because of tariffs, because they made a deal with Japan on the tariffs, and the president and his team went in there and said, okay, so we want this, and this, and there were other companies in there too, but also they said, listen, buy a bunch of planes from Boeing. So the government, the smart minds in the government are propping up our economy, they're propping up our corporations, and they're propping up our coffers with this tariff money, because they know that apart from the fact that we have to pay down our debt and get our fiscal house in order, we're going to have to feed people, bottom line. And let's just refer to it as feeding people. So universal basic income is coming. I want you to look up that story. It's all over the internet. I'm not a very technical guy. I don't post videos up here. I worry about copyright. I worry about all that stuff. But it's very, very, very important that you understand when really smart people ask really smart questions, that you understand what's going on. So hope you liked the video. Please like, subscribe, share it, and thank you for watching.